Okay, so for the second week of the bake-off, the technical challenge was Jammy Dodgers. Not exactly Jammy Dodgers, kind of a knockoff version of Jammy Dodgers with buttercream frosting, but they look really good, so let's give them a go. To begin, I've got 60 grams of unsalted butter, which I've kind of just mixed together to soften up a little bit. Added 60 grams of caster sugar, and then I'm creaming that together to make it light and fluffy. You want to take your time in this step and make sure you cream it through thoroughly, just going to make the biscuit have a much nicer texture later on. After I did that, I added 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract and then 1 medium egg, and then mix that through again, making sure it's all evenly combined. Our last two ingredients are 1/4 teaspoon of salt and then 125 grams of plain flour. Now you want to mix this as little as possible so we don't develop any gluten. That's going to make our biscuits really chewy, so just mixing it as little as possible just to incorporate everything together. Now you might find that your biscuit dough is a little bit too soft. I found that with mine, so I added 10 grams more of plain flour, mix that together, and then wrap the dough in some parchment paper and chilled it for 40 minutes. Here's me just pulling the dough out of the fridge, nice and chilled. It's going to make it a lot easier to roll out, and it's going to help us hold the cookie shape if we chill the dough first, so it's a pretty important step. So I'm now just turning my dough out onto a floured work surface, that's just so it doesn't stick. I'm also going to flour the top, just so our rolling pin doesn't stick as well, and then I'm going to roll the dough out so it's 3mm thick, and then cut out little circles with this kind of fluted edge, and my cutter there is 60mm across. So I put them onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet, and then I made this little tin foil kind of cutout mould. I basically wrapped the tin foil around the end of a wooden spoon, and I'm just using that to punch out little circles from the centre. So now they're finished, we're going to bake them at 160 degrees fan for 10 minutes. And while that's happening, we're going to make the buttercream frosting. So I don't know if this is the way you're supposed to make it, this is just how I did it this time. So I melted 50 grams of butter, added a splash of vanilla extract, and then 80 grams of icing sugar in total, and mix that together. I did it a lot off camera, but you just mix it together till it's nice and smooth, and then chill it in the fridge. So here are the cookies out of the oven, perfectly baked. They kept their nice shape, and the hole in the centre didn't close up, which I was quite happy about. So I'm just going in with one thin layer of buttercream across the bottom, making sure to get a nice even coat all over and pushing it to the edges so you can see it through the side. And then when I'd done that, I added some raspberry jam, just some seedless raspberry jam I bought from the shop. I could not be bothered to make it from scratch, I don't have time anymore. I barely have time to make these videos, so that's why this one's so quick. But yeah, just smoothing that around just as I did with the buttercream to the edges, and then placing the second one on top, and the kind of jam comes through the centre hole, which is nice. These are better after about a day or so, they kind of firm up a little bit. I think some of the moisture goes from the jam and the buttercream into the biscuits. They're also nice chilled. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll put the end card on the screen with some other videos you might be interested in, including last week's technical challenge. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.